If you're a creative professional or you're trying to take content creation seriously on your Mac, then this is the app starter pack. These are tools I use daily to plan, edit, design, and stay focused, whether it's YouTube, Reels, or client work. So without further ado, let's take a look at the best Mac apps for creative professionals or content creators. So yes, I am using two microphones to record this. Until I nail down how I want to do the audio for these videos, you guys are going to see me with two mics. Let's jump right into the video. First app that I want to talk about is ChatGPT. This is essentially my AI assistant. I use it to brainstorm titles, write scripts, and even generate video ideas. It helps me with Instagram captions, SEO descriptions. It's kind of like having a creative partner on standby 24/7. And as somebody that works a lot solo, it really helps me when I get into my creative blocks and I can't really figure out where to go next. I tend to bounce some ideas off ChatGPT. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is CleanShot X. This is the ultimate screen capture tool. If you're a content creator or somebody that does a lot of computer tutorials, this is a must-have. Quick edits, like add background to your screenshots, annotations, and things like that. I use it to create quick tutorials, take screenshots for thumbnails, and even blur sensitive info. It also lets you record your screen with a webcam overlay. It also supports GIF creation, annotations, and clip sharing. So if you like to create your own GIFs and send it to your friends, then that's great as well. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is Dropover. So Dropover lets you hold files temporarily while you navigate through your folders. Think of it as like a floating shelf for your files. It does have a free version, but there are some limitations. For the price to buy the lifetime app, it's about $9.99 Canadian. I think that works out to about $7, $6 American. And for that price, I think it's a great deal. Something that I use essentially every day on my Mac. The next one I want to talk about is CapCut. CapCut is my go-to for all short-form video content. And as somebody that comes from a Final Cut Pro background, I found a lot of the tools were easy for me to pick up. I love all the AI features that CapCut includes, like the auto captions, templates, transitions. All of these are built into the app. So compared to Final Cut Pro, I think it saves hours when creating short-form content. Okay, and that brings us to the next app, and that's called App Cleaner. So App Cleaner is a free app for the Mac. And this is essentially just an easy way to make sure when you delete apps that you get all the files removed off your computer. So for those who don't know, when you delete an app, sometimes there could be meta files or other little data points stored onto your computer. So with App Cleaner, what that does is when you delete the app, it finds all the files associated with that app, and you can choose to delete them or save them. If I download something and I find it not really useful, App Cleaner is a great way to get that off my Mac. It is one of those set it and forget it apps, so that's also why I highly recommend it to anyone. So Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere are essentially the industry standards when it comes to professional video editing. So I use Final Cut Pro for a lot of my YouTube projects, client work, and brand work. It's super optimized for Mac, so it's got really smooth playback and fast rendering. It comes with very powerful color grading options, audio mixing, and multicam support. And speaking of Compressor, that brings us into the next app. This is the behind-the-scenes hero, especially with client work. After editing a big project in Final Cut Pro, I typically send it over to Compressor and select which formats that I need exported. And quite literally within a few minutes, it spits out all the formats that I need, keeping the quality as high as you select it and delivering the project to the client. This is really great for batch exporting projects with specific presets. Okay, and that brings us to number 8, and that is Adobe Express. This is a perfect, simple design tool, very similar to Canva. I tend to use it when I don't need the full capabilities of Photoshop or Illustrator. It's got tons of templates, it's very easy to learn, drag and drop, and it has full brand kit support, which I find really useful, especially when you're dealing with multiple clients that have very different brand kits. And if you're someone who uses the Adobe Creative Suite consistently like I do, there really is a no-brainer between Adobe Express and Canva, as all of your projects within the Adobe Creative Suite can sync with Adobe Express. So yeah, I find it a great tool, and really Adobe Express or Canva are great options for simple editors. Okay, and speaking of creative apps, an app called Freeform. So I believe this is an Apple-made app. It's already pre-installed on a lot of iOS and Mac OS devices, as well as iPad. And it syncs across all those platforms too, so it's great. I use Freeform as my creative whiteboard, especially when I'm brainstorming new projects, whether that be for YouTube, for clients, or even within a small team. Freeform is great. You can throw in images, links, sketches, whatever sparks your ideas. It's good for visual thinkers that need a space to just put all their creative ideas in. It really feels like a digital corkboard for creatives. I also have a background in graphic design, so Illustrator is kind of like my main tool, especially when creating branding and logos for my clients. I create client assets and brand kits with it. It pairs really well with Adobe Express and the other creative apps in the Adobe suite. It's essential when I want precision and scalability for vector work. So if I'm doing any kind of banners, signage, billboards, Illustrator is always my go-to. That brings us into 12, and that is Pixelmator Pro. So it's a light but powerful Photoshop alternative. So I use it really for photo touch-ups, some thumbnail ideas, and quick design tweaks. It's cheaper than Photoshop because I think for Photoshop alone, it's like a $30 a month subscription. But Pixelmator Pro is a one-time purchase price of about 60 bucks. So do what you will with that there. I don't believe it can be a total Photoshop replacement, especially if you're someone that does a lot of client work with Photoshop. It's not a complete replacement. It's more of an additional tool. One thing to note though is you can open Photoshop files in Pixelmator Pro and do a lot of those same things. But as someone that uses both programs, I do find a need for both of them. Okay, and last but not least, that brings us to Audacity. So Audacity is a free audio recording software that's been around for years. Tons of audio engineers use this software. I record on this Yeti microphone. I just plug it into the Mac, and when I'm doing talking head videos like this, I just hit record, and by the time I'm done, I can export the file as a WAV file, MP3, or a few other options there, and just load it up into my editor, and I've got great audio. So Audacity is a great tool for someone just getting into video and using an external microphone. So that's my daily Mac app lineup, from content planning to publishing. If you're a creative professional or a content creator, give some of these a try. The right tool can save you some time, unlock creativity, or just make your day feel a lot smoother. Alright, so that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like content like this, make sure you hit subscribe for more. What's your favorite app that I showcased here? Or is there another creative app that you guys use on a daily in your workflow that you think I should know? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys use. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm Nick the Creator, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.